they talking real loud. Spreading on lies, trying to bring me down. Enemies lurking, but I won't back away. Got a vision in my mind, I'm here to stay. Got my crew beside me, we rise like a tide. When the storm gets rough, we ain't gonna hide. Propaganda swirling, but it won't touch me. Only love around, that's how it's gonna be. Keep moving forward, never looking back. The truth's in the power, it's an unstoppable track. In the city lights where dreams collide, we hustle through the night, fire in our stride. Whispers in the dark can't dim my glow. With rhythm in my soul, I'm ready for the show. We break the chains, rewrite the rules. In this concrete jungle where nobody's fools. Unity sings louder than the lies they scheme. In the heart of the struggle, we dare to dream. Keep moving forward, never looking back. The truth's in the power, it's an unstoppable track.
Another Queen Ahmadiyyah production.
Haze on the corner, they talking real loud. Spreading on lies, trying to bring me down. Enemies lurking, but I won't back away. Got a vision in my mind, I'm here to stay. Got my crew beside me, we rise like a tide. When the storm gets rough, we ain't gonna hide. Propaganda swirling, but it won't touch me. Only love around, that's how it's gonna be. Keep moving forward, never looking back. The truth's in the power, it's an unstoppable track. In the city lights where dreams collide, we hustle through the night, fire in our stride. Whispers in the dark can't dim my glow. With rhythm in my soul, I'm ready for the show. We break the chains, rewrite the rules. In this concrete jungle where nobody's fools. Unity sings louder than the lies they scheme. In the heart of the struggle, we dare to dream. Keep moving forward, never looking back. The truth's in the power, it's an unstoppable track. Haze on the corner, they talking real loud. Spreading on lies, trying to bring me down. Enemies lurking, but I won't back away. Got a vision in my mind, I'm here to stay. Got my crew beside me, we rise like a tide. When the storm gets rough, we ain't gonna hide. Propaganda swirling, but it won't touch me. Only love around, that's how it's gonna be. Keep moving forward, never looking back. The truth's in the power, it's an unstoppable track. In the city lights where dreams.
All right. Hello, everyone. Thanks for tuning back in once again to the original Queen Ahmadiyyah Shakur show. I'm your host, Queen Ahmadiyyah Shakur, and this is your morning wake-up call. So as you're coming in, please feel free to go ahead and subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. Be sure to click that notification bell and click the word all so you're notified each time the Queen Goddess goes live. Okay, so just so you all know, I was trying to get online for like an hour, okay? I was having technical difficulties. StreamYard was acting up, okay? So I couldn't even create the live. I was getting so frustrated. Okay, so but at last, I'm here and we're here. Okay, so anyway, with that all being said, hello, Deronda, Claudette, Bronx Flat Power God, We the People, Buckhorse DC. All right, let's get into it. Everybody hit that like button. DJ Big Six is in the virtual building. All right, Claudette, all hell no, Danielle. Okay, let's get into it. Christy Love. Volvo to Love is here. Alice. All right, so shout out to all of my loyal royals. I see you, Sheila. And shout out to my moderators because y'all know they be putting in work. So without further ado, let's have a brief word from my sponsor at 12 Tribes.
Do not buy 12 Tribes on Earth hair growth oil and hair magic elixir unless you want super healthy, gorgeous hair that grows. They have a whole line of amazing hair growth products, including hair growth leave-in conditioner spray, hair growth shampoo, hair growth spray, and hair growth butter. I'm starting to sense a theme here. They include quality natural ingredients. They smell amazing, and you can see the results for yourself. So if you're looking for healthy hair growth for your natural or relaxed hair, try 12 Tribes on Earth today.
Hold on, beloveds, just a second.
lights shining down, and the moonlight girl can't help but feel this connection flow with every move. Go along the floor where you smile. Makes me want more. Heartbeat and sing. At the sound of soul, tonight we dance. Just lose control. I can't resist the way you move. It's little bliss. Your eyes, baby. Like the stars above, this night is ours. Wrapped in our love, the bandits play. Our melody sweet, can't help but feel the rhythm in my feet. Even like that. Like the record spin. On those to dance, where we both live. You got that groove. But don't worry. Here's a little bit of sound.
All right, my apologies, beloved. I had an important phone call. Okay, so with that all being said, let's continue. Okay, so where was I? Where was I even about to get started? Okay, let's talk about Trump wanting to naturalize the elections. Okay, now this is all a part of his scheme. Hold on, what are y'all laughing at? Are y'all laughing at me? What did I do? Anyway, I don't know what y'all are saying about the queen, but honey, let me continue. I apologize for the delay. Okay, so with that all being said, Trump wants to naturalize the elections. Like I said, this is nothing more than a plot, a scheme for him to try to just cheat, okay, and steal the election. Now let's get into it. I want y'all to hear this. Likes up, everyone, please like and share. I'm going to share my screen.
Exactly did you mean when you said that you should nationalize elections? And which 15 states are you
I
talking
want to
about?
see elections be honest. And if a state can't run an election, I think the people behind me should do something about it. Because, you know, if you think about it, a state is an agent for the federal government in elections. I don't know why the federal government doesn't do them anyway. But when you see some of these states about how horribly they run their elections, what a disgrace it is, I think the federal government, when you see crooked elections, and we had plenty of them, and by the way, we had them last time, but go to 2020 and look at the facts that are coming out. Rigged, crooked elections. If we have areas, take a look at Detroit, take a look at Pennsylvania, take a look at Philadelphia. You go take a look at Atlanta, look at some of the places that horrible corruption on elections. And the federal government should not allow that. The federal government should get involved. These are agents of the federal government to count the votes. If they can't count the votes legally and honestly, then somebody else should take
But the
over.
Constitution says it should be states that
Go
administer
ahead.
elections, Mr.
Yeah,
President.
they
That's what the
can, you know
Constitution
what?
says.
They can administer the election, but they have to do it honestly.
I like his nerve. Okay, so I want you all to pay attention. He's talking about, unfair elections and all this. First of all, who's to say that I guess the elections in his mind are only fair and accurate when he wins? Is that what he's saying? He sounds so darn stupid. Anyway, let's continue because he doubled down on naturalizing voting despite the constitutional provision. And then he says he doesn't know why why it's not federal, rather than state being over. Well, because of people like him. Okay, because of people like him. Please. The voting should be in the hands of the people, not the government anyway.
The podcast interview with his former FBI Deputy Director, Dan Bongino, President Trump turned heads with this.
The Republicans should say, we want to take over. We should take over the voting in at least 15 places. The Republicans ought to nationalize the voting.
Given that the Constitution dictates elections be run by the states, the president's comments triggered Democratic outrage.
I don't see this as a distraction. I see it as an actual threat He has said out loud what he wants to do.
And polite pushback from top Republicans.
It's always been the responsibility of the states to administer elections.
I want to see elections be honest.
President Trump pressed late today, insisting there are problems with elections in multiple states.
Horrible corruption on elections, and the federal government should not allow that. The federal government should get involved.
It comes amid growing alarm among Democrats following last week's FBI raid of a Fulton County, Georgia election center. The FBI seizing hundreds of boxes of ballots and other documents related to the 2020 election, which the president has repeatedly and falsely claimed was stolen. Director of National Intelligence Tulsi Gabbard observed the raid and later facilitated a call in which President Trump spoke directly to FBI agents involved in the search, two sources say.
She has no role in executing search warrants, and she does not belong on the scene of a domestic FBI search, particularly one tied to the president's personal grievances carried out under the pretense of normal law enforcement.
In a podcast interview with his former FBI deputy director.
Okay, I want you all to pay attention. Trump is shaking up everything. I told you all, this is his job. This is his mission, to completely dismantle the United States. Now, you all need to pay attention because he's doing this for a whole nother country. And I'm not going to say who that country is, but if you're smart, you can figure it all out. Okay, he's doing this for them because they want control of this country. Okay, and Trump's handing it to him, and y'all are not even paying attention. Let me just tell you all something. Okay, I want you to close your eyes and picture these group of people in a land far away that nobody wants us, at least the government, and at least certain people that are in positions of power in this country. They don't want anyone protesting for these people, speaking up at the behest of these people, trying to feel any sympathy or empathy for these people all the way over in a foreign land. Y'all know who I'm talking about. If you are protesting for these people, speaking favorably about these people, they will start causing problems for you. Okay? They don't want you doing it on college campuses. They don't want you doing it in the streets. They don't like these people, and they don't want you to be speaking up for them. Now, I want you to think about these people that I'm talking about and the people that are doing these things to them. Think about the people in this country, not far away, but in this country, who get the same exact treatment as those people. Okay? Now, if you don't figure that part out, I'll just go ahead and tell you. People who look like me get treated in this country the same way those people get treated in that country. But guess what? The people that are treating those people like that in that country are now trying to take over this country. And if they take over this country, what do you think they're going to do? They're going to be treating people in this country just like they treat people over there. And you already see it happening because look in the streets and you see ICE doing it every day. You see ICE doing it every single day. Okay, I want y'all to pay attention. Now, that all being said, let's continue. I have some news for you all that I think is absolutely so nefarious. But we'll get into it later. Let me just share my screen. Like stuff, everyone, please like and share. Thank you in advance.
With trusted neighbor from ADT.
President Trump doubling down on his calls for the federal government to, quote, get involved and nationalize elections, making it clear he wants a federal takeover.
If a state can't run an election, I think the people behind me should do something about it. Because, if you think about it, a state is an agent for the federal government in elections. I don't know why the federal government doesn't do them anyway.
The Constitution gives states the power to run elections, not the federal government. Trump's remarks drawing backlash even from Republicans.
So many presidents have wanted to do that, and it still sounds like a bad idea to me. And anytime a political party in power wants to federalize elections, they should be prepared to have them federalized against them.
Senate Republican leader John Thune telling reporters he's not in favor of federalizing elections, saying it's harder to hack 50 election systems than it is to hack one. Democrats outraged.
What we're seeing is Donald Trump saying the quiet part out loud. that he wants totalitarian control over our election, and he refuses to trust in the American people voting as they think is fair and right.
With the midterms approaching and Republicans rattled by recent losses, the president and Republican leaders are increasingly sowing distrust in the nation's elections. Speaker of the House Mike Johnson claiming yesterday without proof that there's been election fraud in California.
It looks on its face to be fraudulent. Can I prove that? No.
The president insists without evidence that voting is rife with fraud and is pushing to tighten voting laws. He's taken executive action.
Now, I want you to pay attention to how they're just sitting up here lying and painting narratives. Who is Mega Mike to sit there and say that it seems like it's rife with fraud and I can't prove it? You can't prove it because it didn't happen. And if you can't prove it, that means you have no evidence. And if you have no evidence, then how the hell do you come to a conclusion that there was fraud? Okay? How do you come to a conclusion that there was fraud if you have no proof? What brought you to this mind frame? Okay? What made you come to that assumption? Because the people you wanted to win lost? These people are idiots, okay? I'm going to tell you all right now, the stuff that's going on has already been prophesied, okay? But don't fret, because this is just a means to an end. Let's continue.
To impose major election changes, though a federal judge last week blocked provisions that require proof of citizenship to register to vote. And the Justice Department is now demanding at least 24 states, mostly Democratic run, turn over voter data. And Trump remains fixated on his 2020 defeat, especially in Georgia. Joe Biden won the state in 2020, a fact confirmed by a full statewide audit and a hand recount. Even if he had won Georgia, Trump still would have lost the election. It wasn't close. Biden won the popular vote by more than 7 million and took the Electoral College 306 to 232. Still, Trump directing the Justice Department to investigate his false claim that he won Georgia in that race.
One way or the other, the records are coming with us today.
New body camera footage obtained by the Atlanta Journal-Constitution showing the moments FBI agents raided the election office in Fulton County, Georgia last week, seizing 700 boxes of ballots and voting records from the 2020 election. The Fulton County commissioner telling ABC Trump simply cannot accept the fact that he lost Georgia.
If they believe that Fulton County is a hotbed of fraud, why are they only looking at the 2020 election? Why not look at the 2024 election where he won? Why not look at the 2016 election where he won? Right?
Okay, excellent points. They don't want to look at those because, like I said, the only time there's fraud, okay, as far as they're concerned, is when Trump doesn't get his way.
Right? Because he likes the outcome.
Now, as the president undermines public trust in the U.S. elections, Democrats are warning that just as he tried to overturn the results in 2020, they say Trump is now laying the groundwork to do the same thing again. Michael.
All right, Mary, thank you for bringing that to us.
President Trump doubling down on his calls for the federal government.
Just a whole lot of BS. Okay, just a whole lot of BS. With that all being said, what other damage is he doing behind closed doors? Because these are just the things that we're seeing, okay? These are the things that we're seeing him do. But, you know, also the Trump administration has significantly altered federal equal employment policy, okay, revoking the executive order 11246, which previously required federal contractors to engage in affirmative action. The administration aimed to shift focus toward merit-based hiring and restrict diversity, equity, and inclusion. So remember when he was doing all of this? Remember he's doing all of this? Well, you know, I don't know why some of the people who look like me are still caping for this man, because there are some, and I'm not even talking about Nicki Minaj with her stupid self. We all know her motives, but there are actually people who still look like me, specifically on TikTok, still praising Trump. Oh, he's getting rid of the immigrants and this and that. As if, listen, here's the thing. If they get rid of every last immigrant in this country, do you think that's going to make it better for Black people? Is that what y'all think? Because I have questions. Okay, I don't know how any Black person in their right mind is still caping for Trump. This man has a problem with the DEI, okay, taking away equal opportunity, employment, all of that, trying to put nothing but loyalists into the government, okay, to do whatever he wants so he can just get away with everything. And from the sounds of these emails or these Epstein files, may even have gotten away with murder for all we know. Okay? Political Wind said they coming for us next. Honey, they've already been coming for us. We're never next. We're always the first ones. Pay attention. Everything that's happening right now has already happened to Black people in this country over and over again. This is nothing new. It's another day, another walk in the park. That's what people keep saying. We're next. No, we're not next. We were first. Okay? When I start harassing Black folk, that'll just be the same old same with just different people. Rather than the law enforcement police, it's just them. So when they try to come out here fear-mongering, like we're all supposed to be just running scared, you know, coming out there in the streets to fight their battles, because we're next, we're not next. We always been first. You see, the problem is now they're dealing with what we've always had to deal with. Okay? So when you always have to deal with something, you become pretty much used to it, right? And they're not used to it. That's why they're in such an uproar. Now, with that all being said, let's go to this video. Likes up, everyone, please like and share, because this young man really gives you an idea of just how nefarious Trump is, or the things that he's doing, how long-lasting and nefarious these things actually are.
Very short and very to the point. To the white people watching this, and especially to the white people that know me in the real world, my friends, okay? Today, Trump did away with the Equal Employment Opportunity Act. You know the history of that, and you know why it had to be implemented in the first place. So when you went in that booth, if you cast your vote for Donald Trump, we're done. If you didn't hear me the other times I've said it, I just want to reiterate it now. You cannot vote for somebody that takes away the Equal Employment Opportunity Act, knowing the history behind it and why it had to be put in place. You can't cast your vote for him and look at me and tell me that you love me. You're done. And I mean that for life. Unfucking believable. They try to paint it as this saving grace for civil rights when really they just want to fill the federal government with all of their selected employees that are loyalists no matter what. So even after the 4 years that Donald Trump is done, even if another MAGA loyalist or Republican takes the presidency, they still have to go through all of this bullshit because now you got only MAGA federal employees. No diversity, no inclusion. Talking about some fucking based off merit. We know what it has to be based off. Did you bend the knee to Donald Trump? Cool. You now have a job in the federal government. We fired everybody else. You knew what you were voting for. Donald Trump knows he cannot run again. If you think that you think they're doing all this shit just to disappear in 4 years, they're setting it up for the long game. They're setting it up for the fucking long game. So now if I go in and I want to get a loan for a home, if I want to get a business loan, I guarantee you it's going to be so much easier for the white man who they love and select to get a loan than it is for me to start my business. Fast forward into the next generation, my bloodline is now affected because I couldn't start my business as soon as this guy could because he's white and he got the loan. It's an example, but do you see how shit like this affects generation after generation after generation? We get robbed of opportunities because of your selfish ass vote. Did he sign an executive order for price gouging? Did he sign a fucking executive order for these grocery stores to stop looking at you with no fucking money and increasing the prices anyway? That's what he told y'all. Where's the executive order for that? Oh, well, it's a process and it's complicated.
Okay, he's clearly on a rant. He is clearly on a whole rant, but guess what? Guess who else is on a rant? Let's talk about it, okay? Because Democratic Representative Ted Lieu is not playing any games when calling out Trump. All right, now let's take a listen to what he had to say about this demon in the White House wreaking havoc upon the land. And did I tell you all that some Karen tried to, well, she didn't try. Some Karen didn't like my post that I made yesterday on TikTok, my video, and she had the nerve to get mad because I called Trump a liar. As if that isn't all that he does. And so she had the nerve to tag the White House. Like, what are they going to do? Please. You think I'm the only one that calls him a liar? Miss me with it.
Are Republicans so interested in Bill and Hillary Clinton? It's because they're trying to distract from the fact that Donald Trump is in the Epstein files thousands and thousands of times. In those files, there's highly disturbing allegations of Donald Trump raping children, of Donald Trump threatening to kill children. So I encourage the press to go look at these allegations. And I'm highly disturbed that Deputy Attorney General Todd Blanche just got the law wrong. Yesterday, he said essentially that it is not a crime to party with Jeffrey Epstein. Well, that's actually not correct. If Jeffrey Epstein was human trafficking minors for these sex parties, and you show up and patronize the establishment at that party, yes, you're guilty, because patronizing is part of the law, the federal sex trafficking law. So Deputy General Todd Blanche just got that wrong, which maybe explains why they aren't investigating all these folks, including Donald Trump. He needs to read the law and investigate these people. He also needs to resign, not only for not knowing the law, but a massive, not only screw up, but the biggest privacy violation in history. They release a lot of pictures of minors unredacted, just violated the privacy of these girls. It is uncalled for what they did. The one thing that they could not do under this law was to invade the privacy of these women now who were girls at the time who were victims of sex trafficking. Also, he met with Ghislaine Maxwell, moved her to minimum security prison, and then got a puppy for her. So for all those reasons, he's just got to leave the Department of Justice.
He darn sure does, and he needs to be up out of here. Okay, he needs to be up out of here with this no good, nefarious self. How much more do we have to take? I am so serious. Okay, now with that all being said, hold on here. Hold on here. Where am I going? Okay, now let's go to CNN, what they're saying about these Epstein files. Because Trump gets mad. You know, he hates when people ask him anything about it. He doesn't want to hear it. Okay, and then sitting there lying to us and himself, talking about this proves that he's absolved.
You talked about Democrats who were in there. Elon Musk was also in there, and so was your Commerce Secretary Howard Lutnick, and correspondence that he had with him. Did you read those new files that were published by the Department of Justice?
I have a lot of things I'm doing, and a lot of things I'm doing. I don't know. You mentioned two names. I'm sure they're fine. I'm sure they're fine. Otherwise, it would have been major headlines.
A lot of women who are survivors of Epstein's are unhappy with those redactions that came out. Some of them, entire witness interviews are totally blacked out. Do you think that they should be more transparent? The fact that they thought they released too much. You know, I heard that, and you tell me something else. So, I think it's really time for the country to get onto something else. Really. You know, now that nothing came out about me, other than it was a conspiracy against me, literally, by Epstein and other people. But I think it's time now for the country.
This man says the most asinine, insidiously obtuse, ridiculous things ever. It was a conspiracy about him by Epstein and others. Now, isn't that something? That's right, Barillas, how convenient. Every time something nefarious comes out about him, it's always a witch hunt, a conspiracy theory, a Democratic hoax. There's always some excuse. I literally am so sick of hearing this man talk. Let's continue.
To maybe get onto something else.
But what would you say to people who feel like they haven't gotten justice, Mr. President?
Something that people care about. Yeah, what did you say?
What would you say to the survivors who feel like they haven't gotten justice?
You are the worst reporter. No wonder CNN has no ratings because of people like you. You know, she's a young woman I don't think I've ever seen you smile. I've known you for 10 years. I don't think I've ever seen a smile
Well,
on
I'm
your face.
asking you about survivors.
You know
of
why?
Jeffrey
You know
Epstein,
why you're
Mr.
not
President.
smiling? Because you know you're not telling the truth. And you're a very dishonest organization, and they should be ashamed of you.
These are survivors of a sexual abuser. On the Epstein files, you talked about Democrats who were in there. Elon Musk was also in there, and so was your Commerce Secretary, Howard Lutnick.
Do you all hear this man? Now he immediately resorts to insults and talking about she's lying. First of all, how is she lying? She's asking simple questions. This is all nefarious. At the end of the day, let's go to the next, because is he serious when he said nothing came out about him? You know, Trump seems to be one of those people that thinks that if he tells a lie long enough, that people would start to believe it. That doesn't work with people that have sense. Okay, sitting there going in on that lady because she's asking him questions that he doesn't want to answer. And the reason he doesn't want to answer is because he's guilty. Innocent people don't behave like that.
I don't think I've ever seen you smile. I've known you for 10 years.
A few months ago, you had in your office here Peter Mandelson, the British ambassador. You were shaking hands with him over a trade deal. He's today been forced to resign from the House of Lords, the upper house of the British Parliament, over his links to Jeffrey Epstein. Just wondered if you had any reaction to that, since obviously he was.
I didn't know about it, but I really don't know too much about it. I know who he is. It's too bad. Yeah, it's too bad. You know, speaking of Epstein, I will say this. A reporter named Wolf and Epstein conspired. This just came out yesterday in the millions of pages of documents, how crazy this is, conspired against me in order to fight like hell to make sure I lose the election. That's the only thing that was mentioned about me.
He said that's the only thing that was mentioned about him. Who sits in front of the American public and tells these blatant lies as if they're true? We all know the real story. We've seen the files. Yes, so sister, he is a master of deflection. Honey, this man is just ridiculous.
Now, about Democrats, some really bad stuff, but about me, that Wolf, whoever Wolf is, he wrote a book, a couple of books, and Epstein conspired against me. Did you know that, Mr. Senator?
I did know that.
They conspired against me, so
I
I
read
lose
it.
the
I didn't know
election,
it before.
or worse. So that takes care of Epstein as far as Trump is concerned.
On the Epstein files, you talked about Democrats who were in there. Elon Musk was also in there, and so was your Commerce Secretary, Howard Lutnick, and correspondence that he had with him.
We already heard what he said to her, but at the end of the day, it's just amazing how he sits there and just lies with a straight face. Okay, now listen, has anyone noticed that TMZ hasn't really been going in about the Epstein files? I had not really been paying attention, but then when I thought about it, I said, okay, I haven't really seen them going in like a lot of other people. So let's go to this TikTok video where this guy's talking about it.
For Epstein Files news, TMZ founder Harvey Levin has been named in the document, described as a good friend who could help run a global PR effort to defend convicted pedophile Jeffrey Epstein and smear his victims and accusers. Now,
did y'all hear that? Did y'all hear that? Maybe that's why they're not going in about it. Epstein wanted him to help clean up his image. Okay, Danielle says, Queen, when it comes to what the government, they're lying until they prove otherwise. Exactly. And we as people of color, okay, Black folk, we definitely should be the last ones to believe anything the government says without proof and receipts.
this would make a lot of sense when you think about how, in the past, TMZ has reported on, Jeffrey Epstein and the potential releasing of Epstein files. But ever since the files have been released, TMZ has stayed very quiet, which tells me they probably didn't have any confidence that the files were even going to be released. That's why they felt comfortable, keeping people on the edge about them. yeah, we can make all these posts and make it seem like, you know, we care, make it seem like, you know, we want the files just as much as everybody else, because deep down we feel like they're not going to come out anyway. So we might as well cover our own behinds and make it seem like we're on the outside looking in just like everybody else, when the whole time our hands are dirty too. As the email says right here, from Mike Citrick to Jeffrey Epstein, Wednesday, March 9th, 2011, tried to call you. Harvey Levin, who runs TMZ, is a good friend. They haven't reported on this at all, but I might be able to get him to do something on the Duchess and her backpedaling. Epstein hit back and said, okay, with leaking to British press, but think we need to get a statement out. So yeah, they was all up in the files, running plays. You know what I'm saying? They like, hey, I know somebody, Harvey Levin runs.
Now, keep in mind, it's not Harvey's fault that Epstein wanted him to try to clean up the mess. But nonetheless, I just find it all interesting is all. Okay, let's continue. Likes up, everyone, please like and share.
Mr. Speaker, the Polish government think Epstein may have been spying for Vladimir Putin. Is the Prime Minister concerned that Peter Mandelson may have been leaking state secrets, not just to a paedophile American financier, but also a Russian agent?
Well, Mr. Speaker, he talks of a public inquiry. Obviously, the focus now has to be on the criminal investigation which has started. As he knows, that investigation will go wherever the evidence leads it. And I've made it absolutely clear that the government will cooperate, as he would expect, with that criminal investigation wherever it goes.
Mr. Speaker.
Okay, now he's alluding to the fact that he feels like Epstein was working for Putin and was giving Putin information. But guess what? That's not true. And how do we know that's not true? Well, because Putin's name is mentioned in the files. Okay? And according to the information in the files, it seems to me that Putin never even met Jeffrey Epstein. But however, Epstein darn sure wanted to meet Putin. Okay, we're going to get into it, but let's go to this next clip with the Polish Prime Minister Donald Tusk had to say about these Epstein nefarious files.
A growing number of commentators and experts assume that it is highly probable that this pedophilia scandal was a premeditated operation by the Russian KGB. This so-called honey trap, a sweet bait, a trap set for the elites of the Western world, primarily the United States. Together with the Minister of Justice, the Prosecutor General, and the Minister coordinating special services, we have decided to establish an analytical team and perhaps launch an investigation if the analyses confirm our concerns regarding the pedophilia scandal in the United States. It is possible that we will also encourage other partners to pursue an international investigation into this case.
Do y'all hear this? I know that's right. Jay Gray said, Queen, this is better than Netflix. I need some popcorn. Honey, that's exactly what I said. Okay, that's exactly what I said. I was just telling my man this the other night. I said this stuff with Trump and these Epstein files is all getting so juicy. I'm going to have to start eating popcorn on the live, honey. Okay, please pay attention. But what I want you all to notice is, did you hear what he just said? He's urging other leaders to have an international investigation. Okay? That needs to happen. An international investigation, because we cannot allow and wait and hope that the U.S. is going to tell us the whole truth, because it's too many of them. They have been compromised. Let me tell y'all something. I've been sitting on some information because I can't say it all on ScrewTube. But let me tell y'all something. This country is really in peril, okay? There is something real nefarious going on right about now. All right? I want y'all to pay attention. I want y'all to pay attention. These politicians over here, they have been played, they have been set up, and they fell for the okie doke, and now They're running scared. Okay, and they're trying to cover things up and keep things swept under the rug. But the net that's been cast is possibly too wide for them to all escape. Some of them may get away, but some of them eventually they're going to be busted, because if they start an international investigation, more truth is definitely going to start coming out. Okay, and let me tell y'all something. Even if Trump never steps foot in prison for his nefarious alleged actions, his name is going to go down in history, just like Dr. Mudd. Y'all remember Dr. Mudd? That's why they have the saying now, your name is Mudd. Okay? Because his whole legacy was tarnished when he helped John Wilkes Booth after he assassinated President Lincoln. Okay? Trump's worse than him. Trump's worse than him. 10 times, 100 times worse. Okay, his name's going to be worse than Mudd. He might think it's all gravy now, but I promise you, they're going to talk about him years from now, and it won't be anything good being said, okay? They're going to talk about Trump just like they talk about Adolf, and y'all know who I'm talking about. Please pay attention. Now let's continue.
I want to emphasize once again that in matters such as those we are witnessing today, something that is beyond comprehension, and that is perhaps why so many people are denying it. But please, everyone in Poland, use your imagination. What could the future mean for all of us if we ignored, disregarded, and pretended that nothing is happening when dozens, even hundreds, of people at the top of government, from the elites of the entire Western world, participate in criminal activities? This cannot simply be left as it is. We, in Poland, certainly won't pretend that nothing happened. I don't need to tell you how serious the increasingly likely possibility that Russian intelligence services co-organized this operation is for the security of the Polish state. This can only mean that they also possess compromising materials against many leaders still active today.
Now, let me tell you something. He's absolutely on the right track, except for one thing. He keeps on talking about Russia. He keeps on talking about Russia. See, what he thinks is that Russia has set all this up with this whole thing with these Epstein files to take down the West. And he thinks that Russia, i.e. Putin, is the mastermind behind this whole nefarious thing, and they believe that Epstein was working for Putin. Epstein was not working for Putin. He wanted to meet Putin because he wanted Putin to help him. But here's the thing, and we're going to get to that, but here's the thing. What he's saying is absolutely right. He's just got the wrong leader and the wrong country. It ain't Russia, okay? It's somebody much more nefarious, okay? Like I said. That's the gag. Now, with that all being said, and I still have some proof on Trump. Let me tell y'all something. I don't know if y'all ready for this, but hold on. Let's keep talking. Okay, so now let's talk about what has Vladimir Putin got to do with Jeffrey Epstein? Because why is he mentioned in those files? Let's get into it. I'm going to need y'all to get the likes up. I'm going to need y'all to get the likes up because the likes aren't matching. The likes aren't matching the views. We need to get the likes up. And I'm not going to spill this other tea that I have until they're up. Okay, so let's continue. And I've already had this information for days, so it doesn't mind. It doesn't bother me to sit on it for a little longer. Let's continue.
What has Vladimir Putin got to do with Jeffrey Epstein? The Russian president's name appears more than 1,000 times in the latest files. His inclusion doesn't imply any wrongdoing, and there's no evidence the two ever met. But boy, it sounds like Epstein wanted to. The latest emails appear to reveal repeated attempts by the convicted sex offender to court the Kremlin leader. And there's even an audio file in which Epstein can be heard coaching someone on how to approach Putin.
So the key would be, I would think about, not decided, that at some point you can say, look, I would send a note to Putin. I'm going to leave government in March 14th. I'm going to be in Scandinavia, or I plan to be in Northern Europe. We should have dinner. That's it. No more. It has to be very short.
Substantive mention of Vladimir Putin in these files is from September 2011. An unnamed contact refers to a meeting Epstein said he'd arranged with Putin later that month. Now, there's no evidence that actually happened, and there are no more details. But from 2013 onwards, the emails show that Epstein made several bids to meet with Putin through Norway's former Prime Minister, Torbjørn Jagland. In May that year, Epstein emailed Jagland saying this: "I know you are going to meet Putin on the 20th. He is desperate to engage Western investment in his country. I have his solution." He then adds, "I recognize that there are human rights issues that are at the forefront of your trip. However, if it's helpful to you, I would be happy to meet with him sometime in June and explain the solution to his top priority. I think this would be good for your goals." But it appears that meeting never happened. After pestering Jagland to follow up with Putin's chief of staff, Epstein then complains that he's heard nothing back. In July 2014, though, he tries again. In an email, a contact tells him, "I wasn't able to convince Reed to change his schedule to go meet Putin with you." Epstein replies, "Bad idea now after plane crash." That's a reference to the Malaysian Airlines flight MH17 that was shot down over eastern Ukraine 3 days before that email was sent, killing all 298 people on board. But it doesn't sound like Epstein was put off for long, because a year later, July 2015, he's at it again. In another email to Jagland, he says, "I still would like to meet Putin and talk economy. I would really appreciate your assistance." And then there are more attempts in 2016, 2017, and finally 2018. In June that year, a one-line email to Jagland once again: "Would love to meet with Putin." So there's no smoking gun here. And when asked about the files, the Kremlin said it did not receive any offer from Jeffrey Epstein for a meeting with Vladimir Putin. Still, it's interesting to see how the Russian media is covering this story, because in short, they're not. It's given very little mention at all here. And when it is, the focus is elsewhere, on people like Bill Clinton, Peter Mandelson, and the Crown Princess of Norway. So even though there's no evidence or implication that the pair ever met, Vladimir Putin's inclusion in the Epstein files is clearly not something Moscow wants to highlight.
Okay, I wouldn't want to highlight it either, and who would? Okay, please pay attention. Now, with that all being said, Jeffrey Epstein sounded like he was very thirsty and clearly desperate and pressed to meet Putin. But I believe that the reason he wanted to meet Putin is because he wanted to try to gather some dirt on Putin, just like he had dirt on Trump and other people. That's what I believe, because Jeffrey Epstein, being a whole agent for the Mossad, as well as having intelligence dealings with the U.S., let me tell you something, acting as a whole agent, okay, and all the other nefarious things that I have found out since doing research on him, aside from this whole trafficking stuff, Jeffrey Epstein seemed to me like he may have been a part of a whole master plan with some people, okay, with some people whom I shouldn't mention, but some people to topple numerous countries, okay, their economies and everything else, okay, to overthrow governments, more than one. That's exactly what I think he was up to. But now let's talk about Zelensky, because Zelensky was in the Epstein files, and unlike Putin, Zelensky actually met Epstein. Okay, so let's get into it. Sorry, I don't know how I did that. Hold on, beloveds. Okay, here we go.
He has been caught in the Epstein files, and Epstein visited him multiple times. In emails between Epstein and a Rothschild family member, they discussed Ukraine. And in 2014, they talked about the upheaval in Ukraine when the U.S. overthrew their government. And in February of 2019, Epstein stayed in the capital of Ukraine a month before Zelensky was elected. And this is Zelensky telling the Rothschild, by the way, I'm visiting Zelensky this Thursday, 3 months after Zelensky was elected. And here to this message to Epstein: we should go to Russia and meet my friend Ilya. He's a member of the parliament and the main organizer of the uprising against Putin. He might replace Putin and become president himself. Any ideas how to help him? Epstein visited Zelensky multiple times and was chatting with his friends on how to overthrow Putin in Russia. When Vladimir Putin says that Russia is battling Satanism in Ukraine, you have to believe it.
Okay, did y'all hear that? Now, I hadn't heard anything about that. He said what? Did he say that Putin said he was battling Satanism in Ukraine? Is that what he said? I need to look into that. Very interesting. Now, let's talk about Norway's royal family because they were mentioned in the Epstein files, and that is not looking so favorable for them. Okay, honey, this is a global catastrophe.
Trial is rocking Norway's royal family. The son of the crown princess is in court accused of 38 crimes centered around the abuse of women. Meanwhile, his mother is facing backlash about her connection to the late American sex offender, Jeffrey Epstein. So what's going on? This is Marius Borg-Haby. He's the eldest son of Norway's future queen, Crown Princess Mette-Marit. The 29-year-old has no official royal title or role, but his arrest and trial has shaken the family. He's accused of multiple offences, including domestic violence, assault, and transporting marijuana. Now, he's pleaded not guilty to the most serious 4 alleged rapes between 2018 and 2024. But he's admitted several driving offences, an aggravated drugs charge, and breaking a restraining order. This is one of Norway's biggest trials in years, with people queuing around the block to try to get a seat in the Oslo court. Until recently, Marius Borg-Haby was free pending trial, but on Sunday, police confirmed he'd been arrested on new allegations of assault, threats with a knife, and violating a restraining order. They can now keep him in custody for up to 4 weeks. He's thinking of appealing. As well as her son's trial, the Crown Princess is under scrutiny after it emerged she was mentioned in hundreds of files released in connection with sex offender Jeffrey Epstein. In a statement, she said she must take responsibility for not investigating his background more thoroughly, adding, "I showed poor judgment and regret having any contact with Epstein at all. It's simply embarrassing."
Now, you all know that. Listen, I want you all to pay attention. She's saying the same old script that they all say when they get outed for being friends with Epstein. Oh, I wish I never met him. I wish I never dealt with him. They say the same old song and dance. The only thing is you're upset that you got called out on it, okay? And now your son's a whole predator with all of that wealth and elite lifestyle that they're living. He's a whole predator. Okay, so clearly this is something that is running in your family, lady. Okay, do y'all hear this? Do y'all hear this? These people with money are just something else. Do they have any morals, human decency, values? I have so many questions. And she's getting all of this backlash because of what her son is accused of, and rightfully so. Now let's go to this next video because timeline, Musk, Lutnick, they face new scrutiny with the appearance in the Epstein files. Honey, I told y'all. Elon's been all over there trying to mayo-splain for days now on X. Nobody's buying it. You lied and said you never met the man there or you never went to the island, but there you are begging in multiple emails to come to the darn island.
Release of nearly 3 million pages of the Epstein files, the internet's on fire with reports of Trump world billionaires, like Commerce Secretary Howard Lutnick, or former Doge head Elon Musk, who appear to have associated with him after his crimes were known. But is that a fair criticism? After all, Epstein was not charged with sex trafficking or sexual abuse of minors until 2019, when Manhattan federal prosecutors decided to investigate Epstein themselves following blockbuster Miami Herald reporting about him and how he escaped real accountability years prior. Here's what we know. In 2007 and 2008, a Florida prosecutor drafted an indictment that would have charged Epstein with 30-plus violations of federal law, including 10 counts of sex trafficking involving 19 different girls. Ultimately, though, the feds agreed not to prosecute Epstein if he pled guilty in state court to soliciting a prostitute and procuring minors to engage.
Now, I want you all to think about this for a minute. Really think about all of these charges that he was facing, and they included minors. This man was a whole predator, and they knew it. But the feds decided not to prosecute him. Okay? But look how they did Diddy. Look how they did Bill Cosby. I want y'all to pay attention. Now, why shouldn't he have been prosecuted to the full extent of the law? Okay, he had much more nefarious allegations, but let's continue.
In prostitution. He served less than 13 months in jail, and in July 2009, he was released. But even before that, the New York tabloids covered the Epstein scandal extensively. And by early 2011, a New York judge ruled that he was a, quote, level 3 sex offender. That's the most dangerous kind. And that's where we pick up with folks like Musk and Lutnick. Both are among those who are still at least entertaining the idea of socializing with Epstein after all that. In November 2012, for example, Epstein asked Musk when he would need a helicopter to Epstein's island. Musk's response? What day or night will be the wildest party on your island? Musk has since denied attending that party and denied ever visiting the island. But a month later, both Lutnick and his wife emailed back and forth with Epstein's assistant about visiting the island with their kids and another family in tow for lunch during a Caribbean yacht vacation. There's email traffic from the day after the planned lunch where Epstein told Lutnick, "Nice seeing you." As far as whether Lutnick or anyone else deserves criticism for keeping up with Epstein after 2008, there's no indication they were involved in any criminal wrongdoing with regards to Epstein. But that may not spare them from shaming in the public sphere.
Okay, well, with that all been said, Jay Great says, Queen, they probably didn't prosecute him because those people's names would have come up in the indictment. Well, they absolutely would have. Some of the people that were supposed to prosecute him, maybe some of their names were in there too, for all we know. Okay, so such a cover-up that's been going on for quite a while. Okay, now let's go to this next clip where the internet sleuths have basically figured out what one of the redacted names were because it wasn't done very well. Okay, let's get into it.
They truly want justice, because when we see messages such as these to Jeffrey Epstein, I give you permission to kill him. He is apparently with blank. He lied to you and lied to me. And it was actually uncovered that this may be a woman who runs a child orphanage, because she responded to this email from Jeffrey Epstein saying, "No one will lie and get away with it from me. No one." And people were able to make out what these words said right here because it wasn't fully redacted because it was a sloppy job. Susan Hamblin. And so, of course, people did some digging and unredacted, because Susan Hamblin owns an adoption agency. Susan Hamblin founded and led Kids to Families, an adoption agency based in Washington State, which was active in the early 2010s. Some of the years Jeffrey Epstein was most active by the release of these Epstein files. Now get this, after sending Jeffrey Epstein the email about giving him permission to kill him, her husband Paul Lawrence passed away in 2014. Now that could be a coincidence. And some people may say, well, there's multiple Susan Hamblins around the world. How do we know this was the right one? Well, in 2022, this same Susan Hamblin won a libel and data protection case against newspapers because she alleged that they were falsely alleging her involvement with Jeffrey Epstein, to which she implied they had baseless accusations and that she groomed a minor for Epstein that threatened that minor with death. Now, the problem with that is this is just one example of the many examples we've covered in our prior videos, to include the DOJ deleting files they already posted because it implicated Trump and had his name all over it as victims were making calls to the FBI and police about what he did to them. We're talking about over a dozen call logs, and that's only what we got in a leak. Different victims, same stories. However, if we take a look at the Trump admin, they're now saying the review is over. Number one, we still have not gotten the rest of the 3 million files. Number two, you have not redacted the files that everybody's received now. And even without those proper redactions, because people are finding out ways to unredact them anyway, this stuff is so beyond the realms of disgusting that the next question lined up is, where are the prosecutions? Where are the investigations? This is far from over. However, let's see what Todd Blanche has to say about this, because Trump is acting like this is not a big deal and people are making this up. But Trump, when you've had over 50 different victims say the same thing about you, and we hear it behind closed doors saying you like to grab women by the pee and they let you do whatever you want to them. And when 13-year-old girls sue you, Katie Johnson, which was an alias, and then she disappears and her lawyers never hear from her again and say they think she's not alive anymore, in the biggest trafficking ring this country's ever seen, what the hell do you mean this case is over? It is far from over. Let's take a look at what Todd Blanche had to say.
Your release on Friday has already received a response from the victims, from Jeffrey Epstein's victims. I want to show the statement right now. It says, survivors are having their names and identifying information exposed while the men who abuse us remain hidden and protected. This is outrageous. The Justice Department cannot claim it is finishing releasing files until every legally required document is released and every abuser and enabler is fully exposed.
We have to ask if they truly want justice, because when we see messages.
That's absolutely egregious. Okay, let's go to the next clip, beloveds. Measure Man says Elon's daughter called him out on X unless she deleted. She said multiple times, then they hit the Mar-a-Lago 2008 indictment. Okay, really? That's interesting, honey. I have to look into it. Thank you, beloved, for your insight into the topic and your contribution to the channel. I appreciate you. Peace, love, and blessings.
You behave just like the Goyim. Obviously, a polite Goyim. They did a great job of closing the most, at least for the Goyim. No, Goyim in abundance. Just go hang out in the lobby. That's for the Goyim. By the way, here's my Goy shelf. Oh, please wire money to my bank account named Baal, the biblical enemy of Jesus Christ that is known for child sacrifice. These are between this guy and many of our politicians. Just to confirm, it's going to 100% be a night, right? Jeffrey here working with $25 million with the Rothschilds. I'm sure this isn't a big deal. Messages between Epstein and the Rothschilds about Ukraine. This is a message from a girl that gave birth on Epstein's Island. Only got 10 to 15 minutes to hold the baby before they took her. I want her back. That's horrific. All of the theories we thought as children, all of the movies we watched are even worse than we imagined. Comment your thoughts, follow me for the real updates.
When they keep talking about Goyim, they're talking about people that are non-Jews, okay, that don't belong to their community. All right. And that whole thing with Baal and Moloch that they keep talking about, all crazy. Now, with that all being said, let's go to this video of a victim who speaks out. And then after that, we're going to talk about ICE. Okay, we're going to be out of here shortly. Now, let me go ahead and share my screen. I'm going to use an overlay.
My name's Anushka DeGiorgio. I'm a survivor of Jeffrey Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell. I want to thank the Midas Touch for taking an interest in my story and this story and continuing to advocate for survivors and for transparency. As many of you know, as I've shared before, I was subject to a huge amount of distress over the weekend as the Epstein dump not only didn't expose many of the perpetrators and the enablers in the Epstein files, but they exposed myself and many, many other survivors, sharing lots and lots of very personal information, including photographs, including addresses, my home address, and a number of other very personal details that will be very difficult to recover from because the damage is already done. So my attorneys, Brad Edwards and Brittany Henderson, petitioned Judge Berman and Judge Engelmeyer and Daniel Patrick Moynihan to do something about it. And they sent over an emergency request for immediate judicial intervention regarding the Epstein Transparency Act. So we just got a reply from them, from Judge Berman, in fact, and the reply reads this. To Attorney Henderson and U.S. Attorney Clayton, thank you for your recent letters dated January 30th, 2026, January 31st, 2026, February 1st, 2026, and February 2nd, 2026. I recognize your concern and the urgency of the issues you have presented. I will set aside a conference on Wednesday, February 4th at 11:30 a.m. if that is convenient for you. You are invited to bring your clients. I am not certain of how helpful I can be, and I encourage you to continue to resolve open issues in good faith. Richard M. Berman. So once again, Judge Berman comes in with incredible compassion, clearly supporting the survivors, supporting the victims, and wanting something done about this. I very much hope that this will prompt the DOJ to do the right thing. Come on, guys, do the right thing. It's time. And none of us are going to let up. None of us are going to go away. And we are going to get louder and louder until we get what we came for.
All right, absolutely deplorable. Okay, I hope that they do get justice, but so far it doesn't look or sound like it. Okay, it doesn't look or sound like these people sitting up here lying, talking about there's nothing that they can prosecute for. People are literally talking about murder in these files. Who killed these people? Who made people disappear? Who's buried on Trump's golf course allegedly? Okay, I have several questions. But anywho, let's continue because the next thing is let's go to Joy Reid going in on MAGA. Okay. No. First, let's go to ICE in Atlanta. Y'all know ICE is in Atlanta. I told y'all that the other day, right? Y'all know I told you they were here. And I find it all interesting. Hold on, no, let me just start with Joy Reid because she was going in. She was really going in on MAGA. Hold on, here we go. I'm gonna share my screen. Lights up, everyone, please. Like and share. Thank you in advance.
And read how to say to MAGA. Watch this.
Why are y'all so angry? You have the White House, you have both houses of Congress, you have a Supreme Court that is completely obedient to your president. They're willing to give him unlimited power. They're willing to say that he can take SEAL Team 6 and kill anybody he wants. They were willing to affirm that. They're willing to say that ICE can racially profile anybody they want. The United States Supreme Court has said you can racially profile Latinos based on their accent or the way they look. You guys have everything you want. You have legal racial profiling. You've ended DEI. You've ended affirmative action. You get all the best jobs, even if you're not qualified. You can be a Fox Weekend host and be the Defense Department's Secretary of Defense. You can be Kash Patel and be a podcaster who wants to go to Valhalla and run the FBI as long as you're conservative. You have everything. Why are y'all so angry? What the fuck are you angry about? You've banned all of our books. You've banned Black history. You banned the 1619 Project. You don't have to compete with women for jobs. You've chased them out of the military. You've chased them out of the senior positions in the Department of Defense. You've gotten rid of all the Black history in the museums. Museums are terrified. I have contacts that I'm talking to inside of the Interior Department, people who are running all of those spaces where you can go and see a Civil War memorial or something. The people who work in these places are terrified. They're afraid to tell the real history. The people who are working for the federal government are afraid to say the word Black. You guys have canceled Black scholarships. You're damn near, I guess, ready to get rid of HBCUs. Donald Trump just recently said they're not going to fund any minority serving institution. Y'all have gotten rid of that. You've gotten rid of help for Black kids to go to college. What more do you want? What are you so angry about? I go every so often, I go and lurk and look on X-Twitter. Y'all are the maddest people ever. Y'all are so angry for people who have everything. Y'all said you want your country back. You have it. The rest of us are sitting back and trying to keep our peace and preserve our peace while you all are running the country. If the airlines are crashing, that's you. That's the people you wanted to run the United States government. The FBI, y'all are laughing at them on X Twitter and saying that they look ridiculous. That's your FBI. They've purged the people who made the FBI what it was. It's not what you wanted. You have your podcasters running the FBI. You have your friend from the real world running the Department of Transportation. That's what you wanted. There's no longer a gay guy there. The gay guy's gone. The gay guy's at home with his kid and his husband. He's not in charge anymore. The Department of Justice is what you wanted. It's your Justice Department that won't release the Epstein files. If you're mad about the Epstein files, you shouldn't be mad at me and the left. You need to be mad at Donald Trump. You all have the country. You run every red state like it's already Project 2025. You won't let women have abortions in Texas. They're literally dying of sepsis. That's what you wanted. You wanted women to have only 6 weeks to get an abortion in Georgia. You got it. You wanted Texas to be a petri dish and a laboratory for every right-wing, anti-Black, anti-gay, anti-trans idea. And you also got rid of vaccines. Every child in Florida is now going to go to school with kids who could give them measles, mumps, and rubella and COVID. That's what y'all wanted. You now have a paradise in Florida where you can get sick, cough on people, let them die of whatever disease you're carrying. It's almost like you've got the pilgrims again that can come and cough on all the natives and take them out. That's what you wanted. You got it. You wanted Florida to be that. It's that. You wanted the United States to be Florida. It's that. But yet you all are still so angry. I don't understand it. I genuinely don't understand it. I don't mean to rant and rave, but I am genuinely trying to get to the bottom of what you all are so angry about. And I think I have a suspicion and I have a guess. What you all are angry about is that while you have gotten everything you wanted on the right, we on the other side won't give you love for it. We won't respect you for it. We won't hail you for it. We won't respect you and say, hey, we want to, have you at the Oscars. We want to fet you. We want to make you guys, we want to wrap our arms around you. You want us to embrace you. You don't just want to run us and tell us what to do and tell us what to think and tell us what to read and tell us what history we can have. You don't just want to tell us what to do. You want us to embrace you. What you really want is to sit at our table. You're mad because while you are running the country into the ground, you're destroying your own farmers with tariffs. You're destroying your own farmers by taking away their subsidies that used to go with USAID. You got what you wanted. They've ended the farm subsidies. These are the things y'all asked for. You got your big, beautiful budget. That's what you wanted. Trump gave it right to you. You got your permanent tax. You're still pissed because the left, the other side, the majority, we still cannot stand you. We cannot stand Christian nationalism. We don't want it. And because we will not say we want your Christian nationalism, we embrace your Christian nationalism. We like your Christian nationalism. We like you. Because we won't do that, that's why you're still mad. But guess what we're going to keep on doing? We're going to keep on being moisturized and unbothered, and we still not going to like it. We're never going to like Christian nationalism. We're never going to accept it. We're never going to be down with it. And our squad is bigger than your squad at the end of the day. We have the Boricuas. We got the Mexican Americans. They done woke up. They said, whoo, Lord, let's go ahead and go with these folks. We got the spicy whites. The spicy white fucking with us. They're with us. Right? We got the Asian Americans who woken up and said, whoa, we better be with them. Right? Chinese Americans, they see you. Japanese Americans are like, you're going to do internment again? We see you.
South Koreans
are like, oh, we see you. You're going to kick the South Koreans out. Now you're going to cry because Georgia's going to have a worse economy because you're not going to get to have the South Koreans teaching y'all to have those high-tech jobs. South Koreans are like, oh, well, sure hate it. Africa's like, we're just going to do business with each other. We got BRICS. We don't need y'all. Tourists are like, we don't need y'all. The African Americans, the Caribbean Americans are getting together and said, yo, why are we fighting each other? Caribbean Americans are like, yo, we were y'all. We made a hip hop together. Let's go off. And you're mad at us because we do not want to be with you. This America you want, that's yours, y'all. You keep it. We don't want it.
I love me some Joy Ann Reid. She did not mince words. She didn't stumble. She didn't stutter. She was very clear and concise about every fucking thing. And I know MSNBC hates that for her because they really fucked up letting her go. But why is y'all really mad? Like, why is y'all out here talking about white man fight back, white man fight back? Who is y'all fighting back against? Y'all are making all the decisions on every fucking thing. Y'all got control of the Senate, control of the House, control of the motherfucking White House. Y'all changing all the fucking rules. Why is y'all so fucking mad? America is being ran the way y'all wanted it to be ran. So it don't make no fucking sense that y'all out here huffing and puffing when y'all the ones in charge.
About Nicki Minaj, because she's like, very in the news these days, has like, you're doing a face right now.
We don't mess with Nicki.
You don't mess with Nicki?
No, we don't mess with Nicki.
Did you used to mess with her?
Oh, of course. I mean, you had to, but I will be clear. I have always loved Cardi more.
Okay.
And clearly my instincts were right to love on Cardi more than Nicki.
Totally. So you kind of flipped on her. What was the moment you decided that I just can't anymore?
I just don't do sellouts, especially in this moment, right? Like, things are too serious. There are too many people that are being harmed. And especially with her being an immigrant, then deciding to go and cozy up to this administration that is specifically putting targets on the backs of immigrants and anyone who stands with them. Even if they're U.S. citizens, they can catch a bullet. That is wrong. And I don't even understand how you can play with it and pretend like it's anything but wrong.
Why do you think she's doing it then?
Listen, I don't know if it's because she looking for some papers for some people, or if she's looking for them other papers. Because, I hear that she got family members that's got a few little issues, right? And so maybe she needs them other papers because he love to hand those out, usually at a cost, right? But going after people like Don Lemon, who I love dearly, just wrong. Like, she's just on the wrong side of history. So I hope that people remember all of this when she comes back and she's broke and she's begging for money and support, because something tells me MAGA ain't gonna do it for her.
If Nicki came out with a summer jam and you couldn't not bop your head to it, do you think you'd still have to turn it off when you're in the car to come on the radio, or can you divorce those two things?
I think that there are plenty of people. I'll give you an example. R. Kelly, right? A lot of people took issue with R. Kelly. R. Kelly obviously is serving and doing his time right now. But something tells me that people are still bumping R. Kelly somewhere, somehow, right? I think that there are people that can divorce the art. For me, it is more so about like your dollars. Like, are you going to support with your dollars certain things? Because it's the dollars that have given her a platform in the first place. Otherwise, Donald Trump wouldn't even know who she was. No one would know who she was, but for the dollars that were used to support her that allowed her to have the platform that she has. Do you want to continue to support or elevate a person's platform who's then going to turn around and do things that are demeaning to us as a society?
It's interesting to me that like she's like the mega hero right now, but she's not included in their halftime Super Bowl show. You know how they're doing a Turning Points halftime show? Kid Rock is headlining. I assumed that Nicki was going to headline, but she's not even on the bill. It's a surprise. Why do you think Nicki's not on there?
She may now understand her place as it relates to MAGA, but maybe she won't. Who knows?
Hey, I wanted.
Okay, Nikki's a fool and she's getting clowned left and right by other people. Godfrey did a video about her, clowning her as well. Let's go to it.
Find out that gold Trump card is a memento. It's not a visa. Yeah, it's not a visa. Oh, God, did I laugh for 30 minutes. So Donald Trump literally played your Nicki! Can you believe this, guys? Now, Nicki Minaj is on her House Negro tour, and she's been doing all of this weird behavior, I guess, because she has a plan, because she illegally came to America. She's from Trinidad, and I think a lot of Trinidadians have to be embarrassed by her behavior. And she got her gold card, the Trump gold card. She bragged about it. She even showed it, and that's what this whole plan has been, I guess. And she even said, I love Trump. I'm a fan of Trump, and this is real. This is, I care what anybody says. I love Trump. I think he's one of the most handsome men ever. Yeah. How do you feel, Nicki? How do you feel? You're still illegal. Trump's like, I can't believe it. Nicki Minaj, she thought it was a visa. I really appreciate you. I appreciate you. But I love House Negroes. I love House Negroes because House Negroes are very pretty. I love House Negroes, because you snitch on your own people, You're in the house. You're in the house, but you snitch on your people, but we still don't have any respect for you. I'm going to call you Nicki Mirage. You saw a mirage. You were seeing things, Nicki. The Barbs are going to be very disappointed. The Barbs. The only Barb you're going to see is Wire, because we're going to lock you up in a cage. Oh, isn't that fantastic? Can you believe it? I tricked her. Can you believe it?
Billy Porter on how he feels about Nicki Minaj. Check this out.
Her. When people show you who they are, believe them the first time. And all of them.
All you have to do is leave it up to Billy Porter to let you know what the deal is. And we all know Billy Porter, the multi-talented Billy Porter, who doesn't hold back on how he expresses it. You know what I'm saying?
Well, come to find out that gold Trump card is a memento. It's not a visa. Yeah, it's not a visa. Oh, God, did I laugh for 30 minutes. So Donald Trump literally played your Nicki! Can you believe this, guys? Now, Nicki Minaj is on her House Negro tour, and she's been doing all of this weird behavior, I guess, because she has a plan, because she illegally.
I'm sorry, beloveds. I didn't mean to let this start back playing. I was multitasking. Okay, so now with that all being said, let's go to this video right here. This man had the nerve to ask for gangs. Please pay attention. Ask for all these different gangs to come out and help fight ICE. Is he serious? And I was waiting for him to say black gangs because I was like, please don't say it. Don't even think about it. Okay, let's get into it. Here we go.
Mayoral candidate of the city of Long Beach, California, has just invited 55 gangs to come and fight against ICE.
My name is Rogelio Martinez. I am calling
all 55 gangs in my beautiful city. I expect a gang leader from every gang, all 55 gangs, and I'm not going to name them by name, but I'm calling the Latino gangs. I'm calling the Cambodian gangs. I'm calling the Filipino gangs. I'm calling the Black gangs. I'm calling the Pacific Islander gangs. I'm calling all gang leaders to meet me right here, Long Beach City Hall, this coming Monday.
The only thing that should be coming to you on Monday is a prison cell. Let me try to explain this to you in a way that your banana
Not
and
a
rice
prison
IQ
cell.
may understand.
Did y'all hear this? Do y'all hear him? Is he serious? Okay, DJ B6 said, and what are they gonna do? Okay, Sosa said, not the black gangs. Honey, he better call Birdsong. Okay, he better call Birdsong. Birdsong's already been ready to fight ICE, honey. He's been in a gang and now supposedly a Black Panther, or shall I say Black Lion. That's who he needs to go and get. Honey, go get Paul Birdsong and the Black Lion Party. Okay, go get them, sir. The rest of us will continue to sit this one out. All right, but let's continue. I know he didn't.
You think that you're doing a good thing by using this as your possible campaign for mayor? What you are really inviting is the National Guard to the state of California. You are calling for the strength of our military to walk the streets of California. You are calling for the insurrection of California. And our Hispanic, our Black, our Caucasian, our Asian community, our everything deserves better than someone like you, which I don't usually say this, but a scum like you. They deserve better than your leadership. You just demonstrated how small your capacity of leadership actually is, because your response wasn't, let's change the laws at Congress. Your response is, let there be massacres, because as long as it's not your life that's on the line, you're willing to pay a price. You mentioned no reform. You mentioned no policies. You mentioned no law changing. You mentioned nothing that would actually change immigration. The only thing that your request would bring is more Alex Pretties and more Renee Goods. And I think as Americans, we've lost too many lives for impotent people like you to come and tell people we should pay a price. And by we, I mean you. A mayoral candidate of the city of Long Beach, California, has just
Now, he's clearly lost his mind, okay? Jay Gray said this guy's calling for anarchy and chaos. Okay, as if we don't have enough of that to go around already, beloved. He needs to sit down somewhere, okay? Nobody's falling for it. We don't have time for it. Okay, that's what we don't have time for. Now, with that all being said, the last thing I'm going to go to, let's see here. Yeah, the last thing I'm going to go to is MAGA Mike. Okay. GOP leaders shared their opinions about the president. And then on that note, I'm out of here. But listen, I have some very interesting information. We'll talk about that later. I'm going to do a whole nother live. So I'll come back around 6:30 or 7. So make sure you tune in. And if you do get a notification, check the channel. Okay. Now, you know, if I say between 6:30 and 7, that could mean up until at least 7:30, because y'all know I'll be late. Okay. So please pay attention. Now, let me share my screen. Let me share my screen. Here we go.
A thoughtful debate about our election system every election cycle and sometimes in between. We know it's in our system. The states have been in charge of administering their elections. What you're hearing from the president is his frustration about the lack of some of the blue states, frankly, of enforcing these things and making sure that they are free and fair elections. We need constant improvement on that front. I don't know what the ultimate solution is going to be. I'm not going to get ahead of the negotiations here, but I think that is something that's going to be a continuing theme here. It's something that we'll continue to push. And we hope the governors will insist upon that same thing as well.
With respect to nationalizing elections, I think the president has clarified what he meant by that, and that is that he supports the SAVE Act. So with respect to whether or not that signifies ensuring that only citizens of this country vote in our elections, that's something I think we all agree with. There are other views probably when it comes to nationalizing or federalizing elections, but I think at least on that narrow issue, which is what the SAVE Act gets at, that I think that's what the president was addressing.
We have thoughtful debate about our election system every election cycle. And
All right, I think we've heard just about enough of their BS for today. Okay. Oh, I have one more video, beloveds. Hold on. Now, remember, I was telling you all about how ICE is in Atlanta. So here's what an AT alien had to say about it.
So yesterday I made a post about ICE being in Atlanta. And today's Saturday, so obviously I'm not playing golf, but it ain't because of that kind of ICE. It's the other ICE. And I said them fools actually ventured into Wakanda where everybody is strapped, even the kids, right? I don't even know what they thinking, man. They come to the home of Bone Crusher where he's talking about, I ain't never scared. I ain't never. And no, if you book, no. They scared, the police scared of them fools in Atlanta. Do you not remember what happened when the monks came through there peacefully? They was line dancing with the monks. Thank y'all for your POV, though. For all y'all don't believe this shit is going to go down like this, watch what I tell you. I tried to tell y'all. It's a new day, man. We're not our ancestors. They're not going to go for that. And them YNs and them Panthers in Atlanta, boy, stop. They going to take y'all cars. They got the same shit, y'all.
Okay, I want y'all to pay attention. Avery said, if you in Atlanta and don't know cartels are here in Atlanta, exactly, like these dudes be up on the roof, and I'm not even joking. Okay, I'm not even joking. Like, this is not it. They have places in Atlanta for real. Tell ICE, I tell y'all what, if ICE is in Atlanta while they're here, tell them to go over to Vine City. Tell them to go check out the Bluff and see how they like that. Okay, I don't think they'll go back, is all I'm saying. All right, they have armed dudes up on top of the roofs. I'm not even playing. Y'all think it's a game? So, you know, Atlanta is already sitting back waiting and watching. All right, just sit back waiting and watching, because everybody in Atlanta is strapped. Okay, please pay attention. Everybody in Atlanta is strapped. Everybody who looks like me. Now, with that all being said, listen, I love you all to life. Jay Gray said he ain't lying, okay? Sean said, not line dancing with the monks. Yes, they were out there doing the most, and I was so embarrassed. Okay, I was so embarrassed. I was glad I didn't go out there after I saw all that. So, sister said, I better tread lightly in ATL. I hope they do, honey, because we don't want no smoke. But if there must be smoke, then there must be, I guess. But anyway, listen, like I told you guys, I'll be back tonight, okay? No later than 7:30. If you don't get your notifications, just check the channel. Also, for those of you who are new to the channel and you may not know this, but I always post the links to every live. Before I go live, I post the links, okay, in my YouTube community tab, also on my X account. Okay, so anyway, I'm going to let you all go. I love you all to life. Each one teach one. That's how we grow and thrive. Do something productive, constructive, but never destructive. And always remember, beloveds, to keep the Most High first in your lives. Until next time, peace.
Hey, yo, Nick, hit him with that flavor. All in my skin. God all in my blood, kings all in my circle. You touch one of mine and you're done. They show no love for the queen. Why you hating on me? Is it cause I'm free and I got Malcolm X in my jeans? I got dreams like King Luther, shed blood like Kunsa. You ain't helping my people, I ain't got nothing to say to ya. I want all the smoke like hookah. Talking reparations, America won't be great until they give us compensation. I'm like, I'm the hottest honest right now. See a bunch of lames out here trying to jock on my style. They be doing too much. I'm the queen, it's too easy. It's like they all at Popeyes, how they be talking so greasy. I just sit back and laugh while these haters get madder. So nefarious how they don't want my pockets with cheddar. I tell them they can do better. These snakes in the grass can leave a bite on your ass, cause y'all be trusting too fast. I got my foot on the gas, other one on they necks. Dropping receipts on haters, you better show some respect. I'm never facing regrets, we only facing the threats. Running through every challenge like a relay, break no sweat. It's a cold game, so I got that blanket with me. Now that my people awaken, ain't no going to sleep. I do not play by my piece, this time I'm playing for keeps. You talking slick, but when I see you like them ends, we gon' meet. And I got gold all in my skin, God all in my blood, kings all in my circle. You touch one of mine and you done. They show no love for the queen, why they hating on me? Is it cause I'm free and I got Malcolm X in my jeans and I got gold all in my skin, God all in my blood, kings all in my circle. You touch one of mine and you done. They show no love for the queen, why they hating on me?